watching Fox Local.
All right, our big story of the morning here at this hour, at least locally, a man is dead. 2 officers are hurt after a late night police shooting in Phoenix.
Yeah, it happened at a shopping center in the area of 35th Avenue in Glendale. Daniel Miller has been live on the scene all morning long, and still a pretty active scene as we get into the 7 o'clock hour, Danielle.
It is. Phoenix police spending all night here at this strip mall. Everything started right around 8 o'clock this morning, and you can see here this investigation lasting into the very early morning hours out here. They have the entire parking lot kind of roped off right here in front of this Dollar Tree where everything happened. According to the Phoenix Police Department, officers were called here to the scene around 8 p.m. last night, and a man said to be trespassing inside the business. Workers pointed police to the person they wanted removed from the property, and police say officers arrived and tried to contact that man, but he ran into a back stock room. When officers tried to contact him again back there, they got him to come down from a cooler that he climbed on top of, but then they got into some sort of scuffle or fight with that man, which spilled back into the store, and officers then used a taser on that man, but at some point he got a hold of that taser. That is when an officer opened fire. The officers were hurt. The suspect was pronounced dead here on scene.
The injuries were sustained during the fight. I can tell you that, again, the taser was in the man's possession. As far as the use of that taser or the effect that taser had on the officers is still part of an ongoing investigation. I did say that the man was able to control the taser. As far as his use to it and the effectiveness is still part of an ongoing investigation.
And the 2 police officers were taken to the hospital and treated for non-life-threatening injuries. Both were released overnight. There were employees as well as customers in the store at the time, but no one else was hurt. So it's not clear at this time if the man had any other type of weapons in his possession at the time. Those are details we're still working with the Phoenix Police Department to get. So once we get any type of updated information on this case, we'll pass it along as it comes in. For now, we'll send it back to you guys.
All right, Danielle, thank you so much. Another officer involved shooting under investigation. This one in the East Valley in Chandler from over the weekend in a neighborhood near Arizona Avenue and Ray Road. Police say officers responded to a shots fired call early yesterday morning. Police heard shots fired in the backyard of this house. They found someone who pointed a weapon at them. That's when an officer opened fire. No one was hit by gunfire or injured, but 3 people are now detained.
A deadly single vehicle crash early yesterday morning, still under investigation. It happened on the Loop 202 right there near the Van Buren exit. DPS says no other cars were involved. It's still not clear what led to the crash. No details have been released about the victim at this time.
A pretty frightening situation as well here.
Yeah, this was on the 143, also under investigation. ADOT video here showing the scene near University. DPS says that the motorcycle rider was the only person involved in this crash as well. The motorcyclist's condition and what caused the person to lose control also still not clear this morning.
So we take you out to the US 60 as power lines came crashing down on the interstate yesterday. Take a look at the scene here. Superstition Fire and Medical District sharing this image. This is in Apache Junction yesterday morning. The lines were down near Mountain View and sometime in the overnight hours, forcing both directions on the US 60 to close. Utility crews were called out to repair those lines, which took until about 2:30 yesterday afternoon. This is no easy task for a lot of those line workers. It is not clear what caused those lines to go down. No major power outages, though this is the fortunate thing, were reported in the area. Now to some big stories developing across the country. We're going to start for you this morning in Houston, Texas, where a helicopter crashed into a radio tower.
Yeah, 4 people killed, including a child. Officials say the helicopter was flying just east of downtown Houston when it clipped that radio tower and came crashing down. The impact also causing that tower to fall as well, knocking out power to the area. No one on the ground was injured, but officials did fear that an explosion of a gas source near the crash site might happen. Houston Mayor John Whitmire says this is a tragic situation.
The residents are secure and safe, but we have a terrible accident scene. Multiple fatalities, tower, helicopter destroyed.
The victims' identities have not yet been released. Multiple agencies will be investigating the cause of the crash, including the FAA and the NTSB.
And then closer to home, we take you to New Mexico. That same storm system that moved across our state really dropped a lot of water in parts of New Mexico. So there was rare flash flooding emergencies. Folks were trapped in rushing water. The state's National Guard says they were called to help with rescue efforts, saying they have rescued at least 290 people from the floodwaters. First responders rushed at least 38 people to the hospital. This was in the city of Roswell. They said numerous motorists, drivers there left stranded after the streets were just flooded. You decide 2024 Election Day just 2 weeks from tomorrow, and the swing state frenzy here in Arizona now underway.
Yeah, and with Arizona expected to play a major key role, we can expect the high-profile visits to continue, including a stop in the Valley by President Biden later this week. He, of course, will be campaigning for Vice President Kamala Harris, who is hitting 3 swing states just today. Donald Trump will be in North Carolina following a viral photo op over the weekend. The former president working in McDonald's drive-thru as part of a photo op there. And beyond an opportunity to make French fries, this was a chance to do some one-on-one campaigning with Pennsylvania voters and take a dig at his opponent. He is questioning Vice President Kamala Harris's claim that she once worked at a McDonald's.
I worked for 15 minutes more than Kamala.
Are you going to put this on your resume?
I never worked here.
Well, Kamala, of course, says that she did work at McDonald's in the early 80s. As for the vice president, she celebrated her 60th birthday yesterday along with Stevie Wonder at a church in Georgia, courting black voters there that are central to her strategy to pick up the state that President Biden carried by just a nose 4 years ago.
This question: what kind of country do we want to live in? A country of chaos, fear, and hate, or a country of freedom, compassion, and justice?
So this week, as Trump visits storm-ravaged North Carolina, Harris will specifically target Republican voters campaigning alongside a fierce Trump critic, former GOP Congresswoman Liz Cheney. Polls show the race is extremely close. The Real Clear political average has Harris over Trump nationally, but by just 9/10 of a point.
So inspiring and empowering for other people to see that, younger generations are getting out there and are excited about this upcoming election.
So more than 100 volunteers from all around the country spent the day in Phoenix on Sunday, getting out the vote and spreading the word. You heard from Aubrey Greenfield there moments ago. She traveled from Michigan, one of about 100 volunteers canvassing Phoenix neighborhoods over the weekend, knocking on thousands of doors, encouraging people to vote. She actually came at the perfect time because it was a beautiful weekend in terms of weather. Yeah. Early voting now underway. There are some important dates you should know this morning. They're coming up very soon. So Friday is the last day you can request an early ballot. That ballot should be mailed back by the following Tuesday, October 29th. Friday will also be the day that Maricopa County begins expanding its in-person early voting and ballot drop box sites. Details on how to cast and track your early ballot, along with the voter guide, can be found on our website, fox10phoenix.com. Great resource because there are at least 14 propositions that you as an Arizona voter will have to decide on.
It's a long ballot.
It's a very big book. Yes. You probably thought, I thought I was done with these textbooks. The Arizona Cardinals take the national stage tonight. The team is part of the NFL's Monday night doubleheader.
Well, they will host the LA Chargers at State Farm Stadium in Glendale tonight, and it's the team's first primetime game since 2022. The Cards, who will be wearing their all black jerseys, and pants and helmets. They currently sit 2-4 on the season, but a big win tonight could turn things around with 10 more games still to play. The Chargers, meanwhile, are 3-2 with one of the toughest defenses in the NFL. But with Kyler Murray under center and James Conner running the ball, the Cards offense is always poised for a great game.
So if you want to attend tonight's game, there are still a limited number of tickets available on the Cardinals website. For those of you heading to the game, here's what you do need to know. We put some information for you on your screen. The RV lot opens at 1:30 this afternoon. Parking and Great Lawn, those open at 2. That's when you can start tailgating. All clubs in the flight deck will open at 2:45. The main gates to State Farm Stadium open at 4:30 this afternoon. afternoon. And you can get access to all important game day info by downloading the Fox 10 mobile app. You can also watch tonight's Cardinals game against the LA Chargers right here on Fox 10. Tonight, Fox 10 News will air at 4 and 5 p.m. and then Monday Night Football coverage will begin at 6 p.m. After that, you can get post-game coverage and all the day's headlines on Fox 10 News, which will air immediately following the game. Well, with kickoff set for 6 p.m., expect some traffic to be an issue for folks in the West Valley, as you can imagine, along that Loop 101. ADOT already warning you, not headed to the game. You may want to find an alternate route, maybe take some of those surface streets or possibly take it from the north side there on that Loop 101.
We've got some developing stories that we are following on this Monday morning. A boy is taken into police custody after a young child was shot in Phoenix.
That toddler is expected to be okay. He was shot in the stomach Saturday afternoon at a home near 7th Avenue and Southern. It is believed the child accidentally shot themselves. Police say a juvenile was arrested and charged with 1 count of endangerment and 1 count of a minor in possession of a firearm. He's accused of taking the gun to the house where he does not live.
When you hear of an issue like this, everybody says, well, those crazy parents, what would possess them to leave a gun where a child could get to it? We don't know. We don't know the circumstances. I can tell you there will be a thorough investigation. If the parents are found to be negligent, they will be charged.
Phoenix police now looking into the history of the gun and who owns it.
Well, fire breaking out at the taco restaurant called Taco Boys near 7th Street and Roosevelt. It's now under investigation. Phoenix Fire say that they arrived on scene around 2:30 in the morning, found a small fire in the wall of the restaurant. That was quickly put out. The restaurant did, though, however, have some smoke damage and some water damage, forcing it to stay closed through the weekend, but no other businesses were affected. No injuries were reported. The cause of the fire is still not clear at this time.
Also under investigation, a weekend fire that displaced a family in Northwest Phoenix. Fire crews say crews found heavy smoke coming from this house at 43rd Avenue and Bell. When they arrived yesterday afternoon, they worked to put it out. All of the people who live inside were able to make it out safely. Fortunately, no one was hurt.
And here's a reminder that wildfire season still is not done yet. Fire crews battling the Skittle fire. It's near the Sugarloaf Mountain just northwest of Fort McDowell inside of the Tonto National Forest. The flames are now reported to be just under 40 acres and about 50% contained. Firefighters believe the fire was human caused and are reminding Arizonans to take precautions even during the fall and winter months. All right, still to come here on this Monday morning. We'll take a look at yesterday's Pride Parade.
Yes, so this year's Grand Marshals included Arizona Governor Katie Hobbs, singer David Hernandez, and Valley Chef Silvana Esparza. Participants say they are happy to be a part of something like this.
This is our first time at Pride. It's been awesome so far. Lots of dancing, lots of singing. It's really good to see everyone come together and seeing all the different companies and groups. It's been really exciting.
Phoenix Pride was established more than 40 years ago.